Yo, what is up YouTube? My name is Aaron and today I'm going to be talking about the pros and cons of the BO3 beta. And before we talk about that, I'd like to take this time to go ahead and say if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, and if you haven't liked this video or liked any other one of my videos or watched any other of my videos, go ahead and take the time to do that because I swear you will not be disappointed. So let's hop right into this. I think I'm going to start with cons just because, let's get the negative out of the way. So first, Black Hat. Black Hat is so annoying. It's really the one thing I wish was not in this game. And it's because if you call in a Wraith, if you call in a Hater, you call in a UAV, anything, the enemy team can hack it in less than 30 seconds and it is theirs. It's not destroyed, it's theirs. So if you call up a Wraith and then they hack it, that's their Wraith, they get all the kills from the Wraith, you get nothing. So you worked for it and they have an equipment. And that's just really overpowered. I wish they could either destroy it or it would, it'd take more than one Black Hat. It would take about 3 or 4 Black Hats to take down huge kill streaks such as the Wraith or the Hater. Next, Reject. Reject was something they nerfed and a lot of people did not like it. I personally wish they would take Reject out of the game. I think it's really overpowered. I think people don't really need that. It's kind of a cheat and I don't understand what their motivation is for adding it. But what they did was basically whenever you died, it would just take away your kill streaks. You could not earn kill streaks past that. And it kind of defeats the purpose of Reject, I would say, if I was for Reject. So what they need to do is either continue to kill streak but not continue what kills set you're on. So you could not continue a merciless, ruthless, bloodthirsty, nuclear. You could not get those using Reject, because the one thing I'm tired of is hearing people say they have a nuclear, but whenever I find out what it is been used by Reject. They've gotten it by Reject. And that's cheating, I think. So our next thing we're going to talk about is grenades, flash, and stun. Those are the most overpowered things in this game. If you run a grenade, I think I made a live comm. I don't know if I've uploaded it yet, but I said it was literally the first day the game came out, and I said the strategy of Black Ops 3, throw a grenade and get a kill every time. I swear you could just run out from your spawn, chuck a grenade to the middle of the map, and get a kill. And it happened just like that. Now the stuns and flash is an entirely different story. They could be the worst Call of Duty player in history and still throw a flash and stun, and you're stunned for like 30 plus seconds. You can't move, you're very sluggish, and then you die. That's about how it happens every single time. So they just need to do something about that. See, I barely got stunned there. I'm telling that thing was on the other side of the truck, and it still stunned me from right there. Its radius is huge. I hate it. Next, let's go to the pick 10 system. The pick 10 system is not enough. I'm sorry to say, in Black Ops 2 it worked because there wasn't that many attachments, there was not that many perks. I mean, there's the same amount of perks, but they didn't carry the same weight. Now we have perks that are so useful. There's not really perks that you could live without. You pretty much have to run 4 to 5 perks, and you're gonna need those attachments for your guns because almost every gun in some aspect is overpowered once you get an attachment on it. Next, perks. We're missing some perks. What happened to sleight of hand and toughness? What was the plan there? No sleight of hand? That slows the game down so much because people are like caught trying to reload, having to hide behind cover, and then they'll YY the reload just to get that kill because you're like, oh, they're behind cover, they're reloading, let me run up, they don't have enough time, YY, you're dead. They need to do something about that. Either they need to adopt Advanced Warfare's drop magazine, which I thought they did. The first day someone told me to double tap X. I was like, whoa, it actually works faster, but that was just my hopeful intuition trying to kick in, and it actually doesn't do anything. It's the same reload speed no matter how many times you press X. Next, let's go to the specialist lethal kill cams. Are way too long. I think we can all agree on this. Whenever I get shocked by the lightning, I am watching myself die for a solid 10 seconds. And it feels like that, but it's probably around 5 seconds. It's super long. I hate watching that happen because I'm really just tapping X, just trying to get back into the gameplay, and nothing happens. And like the War Machine, it blows you up across the map. I don't want to see that. I want to kill the person and keep on going. Another con is, as you just saw there, is it takes way too many bullets sometimes to kill people. I don't know what's happening. Sometimes I melt people. Sometimes it takes half my clip. Others, I could just shoot the entire clip, nothing happens, and they put like 2 bullets into me and I die. Something's a little weird with the time to kill. I don't know if I'm just having bad luck and my accuracy is all over the place, but it needs to be worked on. Next is the game freeze on the Xbox One. It was so annoying, it's still so annoying, and it works in sets of 3. So if your game freezes once, you can expect 2 to follow, and I hate that. Our next is the problems downloading the game. This is pretty much fixed. You just went onto the Brazil server, then we actually crashed the Brazilian server, so you had to go to another. I think the French server was working, or France, whatever you want to call it. It was working pretty good, and past that I didn't really care because I was in game. Next says, I don't believe this game is 1080p. Maybe the full game will be 1080p, but this is something that I'm kind of working with. If you watch the kill cams, they are flawless. They actually look like it's 1080p, and it looks beautiful. But in the game, it's slightly changed, and this is what I'm judging off of. Whenever I went to the Black Ops 2 midnight release, we got to play Black Ops 2 multiplayer, and everyone, as we were playing, was saying, oh my gosh, this game looks so good. But then whenever we watched the kill cam, wow, it looked like a movie almost. It was so good, the kill cams. And then whenever we got home, the kill cams looked the same as the game. So I think that pre-game that we played, the pre-build, was like this game. You know, the actual game's not 1080p due to servers and I guess memory space or something. And then the actual game, whenever it came out, they fixed all of that, and then it turned into 1080p. Next for the cons, and we only have 2 more cons, or 3, is it only lasted a few days. That's not much of a con because, I mean, what's a beta? It's only going to last a little while. I wish that we could have about a week and a half to 2 weeks on it, but that would be a little bit too long, and it would be very repetitive playing these same 4 maps. It would push them into like allowing us to play more maps, which means we'd get to see more of the game. I know that sounds like a con to you, or a pro to you, but it's actually a con. You know, you don't want to see too much of the game in the beta. You still want a surprise. Next is the PS4. What's happening here with the DLC? Like, is it going to be like the usual PS or Xbox? Like, usually the Xbox would get it, and a month later, DLC, the Xbox would get DLC, and a month later the PlayStation Network would get the DLC. Or are we working in weeks because of this beta? Like, is PlayStation going to get the DLC? 1 week later we get the DLC. If so, that's not too much of a heartache. You know, it's just what is 1 week wait, but maybe they did that for the beta. That is all the cons. Time to move on to the pros. I know this video is taking so long. We're already at 8 minutes, but let's hop in. All the guns were good. Everyone complains about the guns being overpowered or whatnot. I think every single gun in this game has, or not every single gun, but there's a ton of overpowered games. The only reason why people are complaining about it is because how we unlocked them. You know, we locked the MA1 or MA7 first, and people are like, wow, this is really overpowered, because there was a lot of people at max rank playing a lot of people that did not get the game on day 1. So that was something to complain about. But then there's the Razorback. People are looking at that. Anytime that there's a gun that's at the top of the list that you're not at, you're going to call overpowered until you get to use it. I was the same way. I could not wait to get the M81, and as you see, I probably only have about 5 or 6 gameplays with the gun. I have it to max level, or maybe, yeah, I do have it to max level, but I don't really care about the gun. It is overpowered, but I just stopped using it. It wasn't that good for me. Next is the game. It actually, the time it's going to take to, they took the time to update the game. You know, it's just a beta. Why would they update the game? That just shows us that they are going to be doing work on this actual game. If they're going to take the time to send out an actual patch like 1 day before the game's up and nerf some guns, balance some guns, doing a lot of balance just to make us have 1 more day of fun on the beta without having to complain, I'm just, you know, I'm in awe right now. Why would they do that? They know that this game is going to be so good, like I said before. Next, the paint shop is amazing. Enough said. If you haven't watched my speed edits, go ahead and watch those. I uploaded one yesterday, which I think is pretty cool. So we're going to move right on to the 2-knife kill. I love that. There's so many times where someone thought that they were going to panic knife me, and then it turns out that I come around and I kill them. But also a con with that is that it kind of stuns you a little bit. I wish it was just like a little nudge that sends you forward and then you could turn on them. And it would honestly render knifing useless. Next is the matchmaking is incredible. You can lobby surf. I love that. Next is that this game is actually 60 frames a second. I tested it and it actually is 60 frames a second. And it looks beautiful. I think every single game should be 60 frames a second. Advanced Warfare was, and with all that's happening in this game, if it was anything less, you would notice it. Next, the sounds of the game. They're amazing. So much bass. Everything has its own sound. The entire world is basically a world. Everything works perfectly. Next is you can tell that there was a lot of work put into this game. Not just making maps and adding them. They actually took the time and made these maps very thoughtfully. They saw where all the line of sights were and they tried to add every way to get to that line of sight without having to walk down the line of sight. The only thing I would say is this hallway that I'm at right now, well, it's, you know, it's a little overpowered, especially for snipers and the M8A1. So we're gonna move on to the feels of the game, the feeling that I get whenever I play the game, and I'm really feeling like this is Call of Duty. I have so much fun. It's not like Battlefield or Destiny or any other game that a lot of people have said this game feels like. It actually feels like Call of Duty. Once you get this game in your hands, you will understand. And the last pro that I could think of is it actually makes me want to go and play the game. A lot of betas kind of show you everything because they're so excited, they want to show off what they've done, and then by the time the beta's over, you've pretty much played the game. So this game leaves you wondering, you know, zombies is the big topic on this because we did not get to play zombies because there's only one map. What kind of beta access would it only allow you to play to, like, round 5 or something? I don't know, just showing you the mechanics, give you like a Notcher and Totem map. I don't know what they could have done for a beta for that, but there's not going to be a beta, and this is the only game where they've really been concentrating on multiplayer. They honestly, all the stuff I've ever seen for this game was not about the actual, what do you call it, the campaign. Usually games are like, oh, the campaign's so fun. They're like, no, multiplayer is fun, zombies is even better. So that's all the pros. I'm just gonna talk about what needs work on this game before the game comes out, and it's connection and the host picking system, because this game picks a very terrible host. I think it just says, okay, you were the first in the lobby, you are the host. Next is playing with a party, because it kind of sucks. And the DLC in the future, hopefully it'll be able to download correctly and not like Advanced Warfare, making me wait even longer to get the game. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this game. 63 and 24, the best amount of kills I've gotten in the game, and not compared to deaths. I have 263 gameplays on the dot, but I think one has less deaths. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Peace. Sorry for the long video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Like this video. Thumbs up. Share it with your friends. I'm out.